Good morning, everyone. Well, actually, it's more likely probably afternoon by the time you're watching this. Sorry. Hi, Josh the RV nerd with Bish's RV here. Down at our Anderson, Indiana store, just outside of Indianapolis, one of my Midwestern sister stores. And a brand that I don't get to see all the time, but I always enjoy going through, are the Sunset Trails behind me over here. Like, when I look at it, they're never exactly the same as anything else. Like, there's definitely some DNA that overlaps, like with a Bullet or a Cougar or their Keystone cousins, because CrossRoads is a subsidiary of Keystone, but they're never exactly the same. It's not just a carbon copy with a different sticker on it. Like, really, if you look at it, they're very good at, like, moving the entry door and, in a way, flip-flopping the living room and kitchen arrangement on a lot of their floor plans, which sometimes one just works better for somebody than the other version. And this model actually has something that has become about as rare as frog's hair. It actually has like a real, true, honest to goodness camp kitchen with a fridge, a real sink with water service, and a little pull-out cooker of some variety. And you could always ignore that and use like you want to bring a Blackstone, you could do that here. Their roof is walkable. Their weights are shockingly good because they're one of the very few brands that is still doing like an all aluminum structure. Now they do have a wood roof decking, which is very good for like snow loads and walk-ons and stuff. But your walls, your floor are laminated. The roof is still aluminum framed, and that really keeps the weight down. And we've got a king bed up here in an RV that is just under 27 foot tip to tail that should work pretty nicely for a lot of half tons. It's not going to be for everybody, but I like the weird factor, but that probably is no major surprise to you. If you like how we're always working to get you footage of new models that we haven't seen before, hit that subscribe button, and let's get in there and see if this one might work or not. And again, I've never found the RV that works for everybody, but I kind of want to just quickly mention like 3 potential deal breakers I think some folks might feel about this RV before we get too far along, just as a courtesy to you. Because I don't make my videos with the goal of like getting the most views or the most watch time or whatever. I make my videos as a courtesy to, prospective RV owners and things like that. And I respect your time. It takes a long time to figure out which one of these crazy things you might want. So first of all, you may notice the RV has almost no campside windows. It also has a radius shower, and when that slide closes, you're gonna lose the bathroom. If those are a problem for you, this is not the right RV for you. If those aren't deal breaker factors for you, I think you might like this one. That's kind of how it boils down to me. So up top, we have a 6.5 foot sidewall, which is pretty industry standard, but we have like a 5 to 6 inch barreled ceiling, which opens up the space in here pretty nicely considering it's a smaller size, and that is a 15,000 BTU air. I also want to mention something. This is kind of embarrassing. It's sort of egg on my face. It's early. I'm not caffeinated. I tripped walking in the door, and my left hand tried to catch myself, and I caught that closet door handle. I broke it. So we took it off there, and we're working on getting a replacement. So don't judge Sunset Trail for that. That's my fault. Now, if I see a genuine manufacturer default, I have a see something, say something policy, but I kind of want to just get that out of there. What's cool about this one is it's kind of like it's what I call a tweener. It's not in that under 25 foot size, but it's also not in that over 30 foot size. But they gave us kind of the function of sofas and dinettes over here in this kind of do-it-all chaise lounge. I just call it an L lounge. I'd like to call it a J lounge, but it doesn't quite swing back around the way that would. But so it's the size of a 3-seat sofa. It has some dining capacity. It has some sleeper capacity. It has some storage. It does a little bit of everything, and I actually kind of like it. I also really like the fact they're putting USB plugs easily accessed where you need them. And like the lights above you, it's just an easy switch to get to. That's also a 10 plus cubic foot, 12 volt compressor fridge over there. And this is a carpetless floor plan in the traditional sense. It's a marine woven slide floor. And I'll actually give you like a cross section of that later in the video when we go outside. It doesn't make sense when I say that now. It'll make sense when we get there. But very easy cleaning, pet friendly. Great if you're like in a sandy kind of place, because you might notice they duct the heating off the sides of the cabinets. Now in a floor plan like this, that does present some problems trying to give us like a good spot for a wastebasket. That is one knock I have against this floor plan. It's something you can work around, but It does not have a wastebasket. And again, it really doesn't have a lot in the way of campsite windows. So if I put you right here in the driver's seat on the chaise lounge, we've got the kitchen window to look out. You've got a light-only bleed-through window in the door. If you want to see out that, you're going to have to engage screen door mode, although that is a wider door, I'm noticing, as well as 30-inch. Now, did you see that light kick off? Perfect timing. Motion activated right there. Now you can turn it off or on as well. And you can kind of see out one of the bedroom windows, but that's one of the key points of this floor plan. It's one of the few sunset trails that has a front windshield, and normally a front windshield in a bedroom doesn't really provide all of the function it could. But in a floor plan like this, because of the way that you have this almost classic Fleetwood style, like pseudo French door, sliding door bedroom, it actually, I think, works pretty well. By the way, I'm sorry. I noticed there is one heat vent in the floor down there because there's no cabinetry through which they could duct heating. They had to run one somewhere. Basically, is how it works out. That is not a smart TV, by the way. I don't know how important that is to some folks, but I thought I would point that out there. Looking up top here, is that a vent or is that a fan? Okay, it's a non-powered vent. But the roof is not laminated, and you've got light fixtures nearby. If you wanted to convert that over into a powered fan, it wouldn't be terribly hard. Also, while we're talking about power stuff, keep an eye on power outlets. If you see this like yellow lightning bolt sticker on them, that's telling you that that is inverter prepped. By default, this RV has no solar, no inverter. So park camping people like me, we don't necessarily need solar and inverter. But if you're the type of person that needs solar and inverter, their optional solar package goes from 0 to 400 watts immediately with a 2,000 watt inverter. Now it is prepped for that stuff, so if you wanna, if you're shopping one of these and it doesn't have it on it, it could always be added after the fact. Now remember, just so that you know I'm being fair, like on the whole door handle thing, I said if I have a see something, say something policy. Little miss right there on that bathroom thing. But it's a sliding door, which organically means it's not a peekaboo, I smell you door, because the sliding door hardware above the door requires them to close it off. So, there you go. And like I said earlier, it's a radius shower. That could be a problem for some folks. I don't know. I don't know your life. I just want to point that stuff out. The porcelain foot flush stool, it's in the corner. It's out of the way. You're not really looking at it from the living room, and I think it's got some nice space around it right there. If I feel they should have left that sound like Porky Pig, they should have left the shelf out under the sink. I think that would have been a nice little bathroom wastebasket space. But something that's deceptive, like you just see a cabinet over here on the left. Oops, sorry, I'm bumping the camera on stuff. If you look down below this wall, it's just sort of flat. Well, that's because the outside camp kitchen is right there. But above it, take a look at this. I actually grabbed like the owner's packets and the TV remote to give you a sense of scope and scale. That is some huge storage in there. You can rack them, pack them, and stack them pretty heavily in that thing. Now the barreled ceiling, when I stand in the shower, I'm a little over 6 foot tall, suddenly becomes very, very useful. Not just for feeling more open, but actually being more open where you really need it. And I'm at a terrible angle to display it, but over here on the right, I highly respect any time a manufacturer gives us dedicated like linen cabinet toiletry storage in the bathroom. So you've got two big chunks of storage in that bathroom right there. I think that they did a really, really good job of that. Now, if I moonwalk backwards right here, I think it's a good time before we do a 360 spin around to crack everything open, take a look at all the storage and whatnot. So that's what I'm going to call a pantry-tainment center with a huge like walk-in pantry behind it. What's cool is the top shelf has a power outlet right there. So if there's certain little appliances that you want powered up, it gives you kind of like the perfect place to be able to do that sort of stuff, you know. Overall, the kitchen's pretty straightforward. It's probably exactly what you thought it would be. It's the lounge, though, that some folks, without realizing everything it does, they're like, I don't know if I like that. Well, it can be dining. It has storage. It can be a guest sleeper, or it could be a good sleeper for me if I cheese my wife off for the evening. Generally speaking, she and I get along pretty well, but I will admit, she is a shockingly tolerant woman. You know, all the stupid stuff I say on camera, imagine being mired in those shenanigans for all those years. She's a saint. I don't know how she does it.
and it's not by drinking. You know, that's the thing. She would have a pickled liver at this point. She somehow just organically can tolerate my nonsense, and I am thankful for it. But I like this thing. Because if you want to kick your legs up, you can. It's not exactly a recliner, but you can kick your legs up if you want to. You could also, if you wanted to, get like a floating ottoman or something down here. Now, that dining table, it's not much. It's like just enough to get you through, and that's all it's really intended for. You saw how it stores in the sofa itself. It's not the kind of thing where you don't want to push down on it while you're standing up. You're going to break it, and that's one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of them. I'll tell you this. I would probably personally get a free floating table to pop out for dining when I needed it. And maybe when I'm traveling, I'd slide it under those slots in the bed there or something. I don't know. That's just probably what I would go with versus monkeying with the thing. It's not my favorite kind of dining table. But the sofa is also long enough as a three-seater. Even as a tall person, if I wanted to lay across that sucker and take a midday snooze, I could make that work. You know, you could do that. Moving forward here, one of the coolest things, no pun intended, about this RV is despite its small size, they still build these 50 amp and second air capable. Very few builders are doing that in something this size. That is kind of an exceptional quality here that I really think they need to get points for. Beyond that, the front bedroom is pretty straightforward. It reminds me a lot, in a lot of ways, of a Cougar bedroom in that we've got this 70 by 80 king bed, but if you look at the bed base under it, you might notice that the bed base is queen sized. It's the decking on top of that that is 70 by 80 RV king size. So if you wanted to shrink that down a little bit, you totally could. That wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to try to accomplish. This is my nerd preferred way of doing it. I love these headboard power pockets. I especially like it when they give us a second shelf like that. They don't even need to do that, and I'm a happy camper. I love the fact that they did it though. So I've got like a spot down here and like a phone charger or something like that up there. For me, that's like chef's kiss, perfect execution. I'm gonna deduct a couple points like a Russian judge at the Olympics, though, for the gravity close overhead doors. And this is the kind of stuff, if you've never camped, I hope you appreciate this kind of extra insight. I know it makes my videos run long, but the fact that this middle thing's a big dead pocket, it means that it's hard to get to any storage in there. You have to reach around from the side. I wish that also, like they had a third door right there. That would be something I would like. By the way, if I don't point it out, someone's gonna oh, it doesn't have bedroom TV hookups. It does. They're over here in the right corner, just so you know. Your side closets, just to give you a quick peek in there. It's not that it's anything earth shattering, but yeah, you got places to hang your clothes. It's a little smaller versus a queen size standard bed model because you do have the wider king in there. So kind of keep that in mind. Another thing that's kind of nice, it is an easy lift gas strutted bed, so getting down there is very simple. And under the bed could actually maybe be a decent place to, I could see putting like pet dishes and stuff like that in there. But like we talked about right when we stepped inside, when we close the slides, bathroom's gone. Something that will also be gone is that countertop extension leaf if you don't flip it down before you close the slide. So it'd be a good idea to get like a neon orange little like sticky dot that you put on that slide button just as maybe kind of an extra little reminder. You know, like how sometimes people will just tie a piece of string to their wrist to remind them of something, that kind of thing. Other than that though, yeah, we lose the bathroom, but the refrigerator and the kitchen and the bedroom, those are accessible and functional. And I want to mention this is AccuSlide cable system, meaning it is not intended to be sat in and occupied while the slide is closed. So kind of keep that detail in mind right there. And just to kind of demonstrate the fact, because I only had the camera facing the other way, from the entry door, yeah, you can get up to the bedroom. So that's the funny thing about this floor plan. Most builders who make this floor plan, they put the entry door back by the bathroom so that in transit you can get to the bathroom and usually the kitchen. This one flip-flops it. That's the weird sunset trail thing they do. So this one is overnight stay-over friendly as long as you have some other bathroom facility available. Different strokes, different folks, different floor plans, I guess. That's why I just like covering all this weird stuff.
I do think there's some very real potential for half-ton towability on this model. Again, less than 27-foot tip to tail. And if you look at the total weight rating with cargo, it works for a lot of like tow package half-tons, especially something late model that tends to be a little more capable. Their cargo capacity is also something I like to look at. Because they are building with a lighter weight all aluminum structure, it allows them extra cargo capacity weight because the axles aren't changing. So there's just literally a lighter load on the axles that I think is a handy feature. Now, they're not using like Asdel composite, stuff like that. Some folks, you know, they really look for that. That's not what this is, you know, and not every RV is everything for everybody, I suppose. I will say, the awning is, I'll call it minimally acceptable. It feels like the awning maybe could have been a little bit bigger, but something that not everybody knows about RV awnings is manufacturers don't order them by the inch. They don't have an awning stretcher down at the factory. The awning suppliers build their awnings in specific lengths. So it is possible, I don't know this, but it is possible that the next length up would have overlapped with that window, or they couldn't get one that threaded the needle between the window and the baggage door. I don't know the case, and it could just be they went cheap on it. I don't know, but I'm kind of just trying to give you some insights to maybe help you understand why they do some of the things they do. Some other interesting things here. Power corner stabilizers are all standard on these, so it is all push button, simple and easy. Now they like to call it their extreme weather package, and it's an enclosed underbelly. It is forced air heated. It's not necessarily like, you know, super crazy Arctic camper rated, but if it's going to drop below 0 tonight, you're probably going to be okay. They do use a reflective radiant barrier through that belly as well, and I do want to mention those are import tires, so this is something you don't need to be driving 80 mile an hour down an Idaho highway. By the way, first time I was in Idaho visiting Bish's home base, and I saw the highway speeds were like 80. I'm like, I feel like I'm getting away with literal crime. This is awesome. Tankless on-demand water heater, and I apologize, this camp kitchen door is not fully open. We were parked just a bit close to the trailer next to us, and I took some time to go find like a little carpet remnant or something like that. This is actually here. You know that carpetless slide stuff we were talking about? This is a remnant of that. Just so that you can kind of see, I guess, what it looks like, if you care. It's pretty much a foam core kind of stuff. But I threw that up there so that I wasn't digging into the side of the trailer next to us, because I respect the fact that that's going to be somebody else's property one day. Always grinds my gears when I watch RV videos, which I don't do often. I will say that. I rarely watch RV videos because I'm making them all day. But when somebody puts their shoes on RV furniture, that is just the laziest, most disrespectful thing. Obviously, I don't care for it. Anyway, got the, again, what I'm going to call a real camp kitchen. And this is one of those things where you're like, oh, yeah, no, I either gotta have it or I don't need that. I will say, in my experience, a lot of people who didn't care about a camp kitchen and then later had one actually found it very useful, especially the fridge and especially a sink outside, which has become very rare. But everyone's different. So, if you have had an RV with a camp kitchen in the past, do you feel it's something that you need on your next RV? Could you do without it? How useful and functional did it kind of strike you, you know? These are also something I really like for a number of reasons. So it's a little kind of dog leash latch, you know, you can sort of, where the dog bone sticks up, you can clip stuff, tie stuff to it. But the paw print below that's actually a barley pop opener, if you didn't know that. It is made to crack the top off a cold one. Of course, I tend to, you know, cans of Coors Light don't exactly need that right there. The other thing that I thought about, walk around a campground, because like I actually camp sometimes, and I don't, you know, that's another one of those litmus tests when you're talking to people in the RV industry. Do they camp for real? Walk around a campground and look at how many people have like basically Walmart bags tied to their entry door handles to act as an outside, you know, trash holder. Having that little loop right there, that's what I would use it for. I'd keep my garbage under control, but that's just me. Now, I'm going to swing you to the left real slow here. If you look, most sunset trails don't have front windshields. This is a rare exception to that rule, and it's one of the few floor plans where it makes sense. Normally, I don't like windshields just in a bedroom, but the thing is, I don't know that it's not the most private bedroom because it does have those centralized double doors opening it up. It helps this smallish RV look and feel not so smallish. I'm kind of a fan of it. In my opinion, the hood ornament effect of it is pretty darn smexy. Power tongue jack, power corner jack, power awning, and the Giggy box. This is actually, I believe his name is Mr. Brad Giggy, who designed this, was one of the engineers for CrossRoads. And as a Keystone subsidiary, you've seen the Giggy box find its way into plenty of other products, including, you know, like Cougars, other stuff like that. It's, I'm not going to call it a full-on docking station. It's a basic wet bay is about what we are looking at right here. And backing up a little bit, this is the AccuSlide cable system. One of the benefits of this thing is that it can slide down to floor flush, which is something that some other slides can't do. Which is why, if you look at it, that cable's not dead flat level, because the slide actually bumped down when it was going out. It'll come back to level when it's being retracted. Down below here, one thing I am happy to report, this is a single-headed sewer monster. So your kitchen, your bathroom, and everything does all drain out to one point, which I know a lot of people really like here. It looks funny to me because you have to use the bumper as the bottom step to get up to that ladder. It's like, if you look at it, you practically feel like you need a ladder to get up to the ladder. But in practicality, it actually works pretty well. Just the first step is a bit of a doozy, but it also does help keep the little kids off there. And one thing I noticed, it looks like the backup camera, if installed, is going to be non-functional due to the presence of that ladder there. I've never personally checked it. I have been assured by various people, mostly factory people, that if you do install backup camera, yeah, you can kind of see the ladder, but you can also see through it and see what you need to see. Again, I don't know that myself. Maybe, I don't know, we can set up some kind of demo sometime if that's a make or break factor for you. Oh, one last little detail down here. Bye, CrossRoads. Sorry. Who's my age who remembers that old commercial? Bye, Menon. Like, that will live rent-free in my head forever. And I was so young, I don't even really remember the commercial. I just remember the jingle. Cold water spray report. That's all I wanted to tell you. Not the bye Menon. Just that. I'm stupid. So let me know what you think of it. Because every time I see one of these, I almost feel like it's an RV that maybe you didn't know existed, and you weren't exactly going out of your way to check it out. But when you see it, you're kind of like, oh, I kind of like that. Or not. Like, these seem to be models of people who are like, oh, that's really, really cool. Or, oh, no, absolutely no thanks. I don't know. Which one of those categories do you fall into? Let me know. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.